me nomme Diagne, donc je suis professeur d'anglais. J'ai fait 5 ans dans cette école, le groupe scolaire Sénégal Dabakh, donc de 2012 à 2017. Voilà, c'est la présentation que je vais faire de moi-même. Et maintenant, nous allons attaquer un cours. Et voilà, nous allons essayer d'expliquer ou d'expliciter des notions très simples, mais qui paraissent parfois compliquées pour les élèves. Donc c'est juste dans ce but que nous intervenons aujourd'hui. So, hi everybody. Today, we want to talk about the preterit. The preterit, it is also called simple past. Simple past. Some people call it simple past. So generally, it is known as a tense of the past. Yes, that is true to some extent, but there are other considerations that need to be taken into account. Look at the corpus that we have here. We have 4 sentences. First, we say, she took a taxi for Dakar yesterday. Second, 4 months ago, the COVID-19 pandemic broke out in Senegal. Third, Hassan wishes he were a soldier. Number 4, if I were you, I would keep silent. So as we said a while ago, the preterit is considered to be a tense of the past. Yes, because of situations like this, or this one. So here we have took, that is the preterit of take, and here broke, which is the preterit of break. Why do you have the preterit for the past? Yes, it expresses an action that happened in the past, but more or less with some kind of precision. Generally, the action is expressed and the hash is put on when. When. Generally, when. So, when did she take a taxi for Dakar? It's yesterday. In the same token, you have 4 months ago, the COVID-19 pandemic broke out in Senegal. When did it break out? It's 4 months ago. So there is a kind of precision about the when of the action. Now, there is another aspect. Look, Hassan wishes he were a soldier. Being a soldier is not something that happened in the past. Maybe it will take place in the future. So this action is more or less related to the future. So it is not exactly the past. No. Second, the last example, if I were you, I would keep silent. I'm not you. And if a miracle is to be, normally it is in the future. So this also is not related to the past, but more or less oriented toward the future. So here we have an expression of the past here and here. And in the 2 last cases, it is more or less related to the future. What does it mean? The preterit is not simply a tense for the past. It can also express the future. Now, the general principle that guides the preterit, in fact, is the notion of time difference. What is time difference? To understand it, let's look at the timeline. In the timeline, here we have the past, here the present, and by this side we'll have the future. So whenever I use the preterit, don't forget I'm speaking at the moment. If I say yesterday, I say yesterday because I'm speaking now. So I'm always speaking at the present. Okay? So whenever you use the preterit in a sentence, you refer maybe to an action in the past, but you were speaking at the present. So you're speaking now. She took a taxi for Dakar yesterday. I'm speaking here. But the action of taking a taxi is oriented toward the past. So that's why I'm here speaking, and the action took place in the past. There is a time difference between when the action happened and the moment I'm speaking. This is the general principle of the preterit. So preterit means time difference. It means that you are speaking now and the action is oriented either toward the past or toward the future. And the future, we have these two examples that Hassan wishes he were a soldier. Hassan may become a soldier, but in the future. So that's why sometimes people talk about an unreal past. To say it looks like a past because generally people say preterit is in the tense of the past, but it is not related to the past, but the future. That's why they say it's an unreal past. Okay? So if we have now to make a difference between the preterit and the present perfect. You know the present perfect? Generally they say it has or have plus past participle. This is what they say. Okay? So the difference between these two, because the preterit can express an action in the past, just like the present perfect. But the difference between the two is the following. With the present perfect, what matters is the result or the outcome of the action. What is important with the present perfect is just the result of the action. For example, I have come and I came. So if you say, I have come, generally, you don't need a precision because what matters, what is important is the action of coming. And when you use I came with the preterit, generally, you have to add an information related to the time, to the context. Okay? For example, I came last night because we expect that you give some precision. Generally, this is how the preterit works. But both can express action that is realized in the past, action that is done in the past. But the difference is with the present perfect, the result is what is important, is what matters. And with the preterit, you need an additional information generally, that is a precision related to the time, related to when. Okay? Good. So for the preterit now, how to form it? How to form the preterit? It's quite simple. you take what we call the base infinitive, or infinitive without to. This is what some people say. So you can take the base infinitive or infinitive without to plus ed. For example, if you have to cook, you take cook, which is the base infinitive plus ed, and you have cooked. This is for the verbs that are said to be regular. There is another category of verbs that are called the irregular verbs. And for this category of verbs, so you just have documents. These are verbs that change in their form, whether in the past or in the past participle. Okay? So this is mainly what we can say about the preterit. And we still insist on this fact. Generally, when you have a precision, like yesterday, 4 months ago, last, whatever, something that is setting the context of the past, you use a preterit. And when the outcome or the result of the action is considered to be more important, so you can use the present perfect. Okay? And don't forget, there are some situations in which you can use the preterit to express an action that is oriented toward the future, just because the preterit is, par excellence, a tense that expresses an action that is a bit showing some distance between the time the person is speaking and the time that the action happened, whether in the past or in the future. So if I say, Hassan wishes he were a soldier, Hassan, his wish will be materialized in the future. So become a soldier might be here, the future. Okay, so this is mainly what we can say about the preterit. And I will just give you some sentences to turn into English. For example, I say, la nuit dernière, je suis parti à la boutique à 21h. So here you see, we have a precision that is nuit dernière and 21h. So, if the context is set with those precisions about the time, you will use the preterit. So, someone to try? Yes. Good. So, last night, I went to the shop at 9, you say p.m. Okay? Last night, I went to the shop at 9 p.m. Good. Last night, I went to the shop at 9 p.m. That's good. Okay? Another example. Again in French. Si seulement j'avais le bac. si seulement j'avais le bac. Yes, student at the bottom. How do you say si seulement in English? Great, if only. If only. Good. So, yes, you keep going with the sentence. Let me repeat it. Si seulement j'avais le bac. Yes. 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 But you have to bear in mind that you were here. You were speaking at the present. And getting the baccalaureate, is it oriented toward this direction? Good. It is oriented toward the future. Good. Good. So, you say, good. So, you say, if only I got the baccalaureate. Good. So, I think you have now come to better understand, okay, what happened with the preterit. So, I think by dint of trying, now we will come to better master it. So, thank you for this course.